As a well-known and somewhat famous Cold War Soviet platform, the MiG-29 was likely designed and built in the 1970s as a counter to the then-emerging U.S. Air Force F-15 and F-16. The aircraft, which can hit high speeds of Mach 2.3 comparable to an F-22, evolved into what could be called a high-speed bomb truck. First emerging in 1983, the MiG-29 traveled with 8,800 pounds of ordnance with 7 hardpoints. The specifications on the MiG-29, published in 2011, indicate that it primarily carries rockets and surface-to-air weapons with some air-to-air possibilities as well. Alongside this payload, the specifications also say that the MiG-29 can carry 6 1,400-pound bombs to strike from the sky. Perhaps improvements in later years allowed this 1980s era fighter to drop precision-guided bombs, but that option may not have been available when the plane first took off in 1977. The MiG-29's 7 hardpoints are actually far fewer than Su. Minus 27 fighters operating with 10 hardpoints and flying at Mach 2.3 roughly equivalent between planes. Both the Su-27 and MiG-29 aircraft are comparable with a thrust-to-weight ratio of 1.09. Given these statistics, it appears the much heavier payload capacity of the Su-27 might make it the favorite aircraft, something which would make sense given that the Su-27 was introduced 2 years after the MiG-29 in 1983. The largest margin of difference between the two fighters, however, may be in the realm of radar cross-section given the configurations shown by each of the images. The Su-27 has a much more rounded and horizontal fuselage with the exhaust vents not protruding, something which increases the stealth properties of the aircraft. Electromagnetic pings from radar do not, in this case, offer a high-fidelity return rendering. Radar signals cannot bounce off flat surfaces to effectively determine the size, shape, and speed of the aircraft. The MiG-29, by contrast, has several rectangular-like protruding structures on the back of the aircraft, something much more likely to give radar pings something to bounce off of and return to deliver a rendering of the aircraft. These differences in external configuration might explain why the Su-27 fuselage wound up evolving into the Su-35, as there are airframes which do appear to succeed in lowering the fighter jet's radar signature with sloped, slightly blended wing-body configurations. As for the MiG-29's ability to rival the F-15 and F-16 today, that would seem unlikely unless Russia has been able to sustain the airframe, and to an even greater extent, upgrade the weapons, computing, and avionics. The F-15, for example, now has an ultra-high-speed advanced display core processor, able to perform billions of calculations per second, AESA radar, and new generations of avionics, communications, and weapons technology. Sustainment and modernization are similar with the F-16, which has not only received a service life extension program but also been configured into a newer, more advanced V variant for Allied customers. Lockheed has even built an advanced F-21 for the Indian military, a special new F-16 variant tailored specifically for India. While the F-15 and F-16, including the newly built F-15EX, are fourth-generation airframes, the U.S. is doing what it can extend their utility and service life given that they could still be effective and relevant in many combat environments and present a counter for China's J-10 and Russia's MiG-29.